The 80th anniversary of China's victory in the War of Resistance against Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War was commemorated in Beijing with one of the grandest military parades in recent history, staged at the symbolic heart of the nation, Tiananmen Square. The event began with the march past of soldiers carrying three powerful flags: the banner of the Communist Party of China, the flag of the People's Republic of China, and the standard of the People's Liberation Army. Together, these symbols conveyed a carefully crafted message of unity between party, nation, and army, a reminder that China's strength today is rooted in its history of struggle and sacrifice. Above, the skies became part of the performance. First, an air echelon escorted the flags across the square, filling the air with the roar of engines. Then, in an extraordinary display of precision, 26 helicopters appeared in formation, shaping the numbers 8 and 0. A massive airborne tribute to the 8 decades since China's hard-won victory in the Second World War. The aerial show did not end there. 3 more helicopters followed, each trailing banners emblazoned with the words, "Justice prevails, peace prevails," and "The people prevail." These words were not chosen by chance. They echoed China's desire to present itself not just as a military power but as a moral voice in global affairs. Yet beneath the patriotic celebration lay a deeper political meaning. By remembering the painful years of Japanese aggression and the sacrifices of millions, China reinforced its narrative of resilience and survival. At the same time, the modern military technology, tight formations, and powerful slogans projected an image of confidence, a nation determined to be recognized as a global power. To the Chinese people, the parade was an affirmation of pride and national identity. To the world, it was a calculated signal. China has endured, China has risen, and China is here to shape the future balance of power. This parade was not only a commemoration of the past but also a carefully orchestrated reminder of China's present strength and future ambitions. To understand why such an event holds immense weight, we must look back at the history it represents. From 1937 to 1945, China endured one of the bloodiest chapters in its history during the War of Resistance against Japanese aggression. Entire cities were reduced to rubble, millions of civilians were killed, and the nation fought desperately for survival. The victory of 1945 was therefore not just military success, it was the rebirth of a nation, the foundation upon which modern China was built. By celebrating 80 years of that triumph, the Chinese leadership is reinforcing the story that the Communist Party of China has always been the shield of the people, leading them from humiliation to strength. At the same time, every element of the parade carried symbolic weight for the international audience. The choice of slogans, "Justice prevails, peace prevails, the people prevail," is designed to position China as a champion of fairness and peace, even as it displays overwhelming military might. The 80 in the sky was not just a number, it was a declaration of continuity, proof that the memory of sacrifice remains alive and is now tied directly to the nation's modern identity. The flying formations, the perfectly timed march past, and the disciplined soldiers sent a subtle but unmistakable message: China is not only capable of defending itself, it is ready to lead. Yet beyond symbolism, this parade also highlighted China's growing role in today's world politics. In 2025, China stands at the center of global debates. Its rivalry with the United States is intensifying, its economy rivals Western powers, and its influence spreads through initiatives like the Belt and Road and the BRICS alliance. By holding a parade of such scale, China was reminding both allies and adversaries that it is not a passive participant in history, but an active force shaping it. For the domestic audience, it reinforced national pride and loyalty. For the international community, it was a show of strength, a reminder that China's rise is not temporary but permanent. So, was this parade truly a message of peace, or was it a demonstration of power? Perhaps it was both. On the surface, it honored the sacrifices of millions and celebrated 8 decades of survival against the odds. But beneath the surface, it was also a statement of confidence, that China sees itself as a rightful global power and wants the world to acknowledge its place at the top. As the banners in the sky declared, justice, peace, and the people are what China claims to stand for. But to many observers, the sheer scale of military precision and firepower displayed in Beijing also carried another interpretation. This was not just remembrance, it was a reminder of China's readiness for the future. The reaction of the United States to China's 80th anniversary military parade was layered, combining sharp political rhetoric with deeper strategic anxiety about Beijing's growing power. On the political front, President Donald Trump publicly responded during the event with sarcasm and criticism, posting on Truth Social that Xi Jinping should give my regards to Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un as you conspire against the United States. A remark aimed at highlighting the symbolic presence of China's close partners and the optics of an emerging anti-US bloc. At the same time, he acknowledged the parade as beautiful and very impressive, yet strongly criticized China for failing to mention the decisive role America played in defeating Japan during World War II, insisting that the massive amount of support and blood the United States contributed deserved recognition. Interestingly, Trump also tried to downplay the significance of the show of force, insisting that he did not view it as a direct challenge to America. However, beyond political theater, U.S. defense experts, military officials, and lawmakers interpreted the parade as a sobering demonstration of China's rapidly advancing capabilities, especially its unveiling of a complete nuclear triad consisting of intercontinental ballistic missiles, nuclear-armed submarines, and long-range bombers. Analysts stress that this marked a strategic leap for the People's Liberation Army, signaling China's determination to project deterrence at a global level. American strategists warned that China's cyber forces have now surpassed those of U.S. Cyber Command in both size and capacity, urging immediate investment in cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and electronic warfare to close the gap. Calls also intensified for the modernization of America's conventional arsenal, expansion of shipbuilding programs to sustain naval dominance in the Indo-Pacific, and the strengthening of alliances through frameworks like AUKUS, the Quad, and NATO cooperation. To many in Washington, the parade was not merely historical commemoration, but a deliberate message to both allies and rivals that China's rise is permanent, and its military ambitions are global. Thus, while Trump's remarks attempted to dismiss or mock the display, the broader U.S. strategic community viewed it as a wake-up call, underscoring that America must accelerate its deterrence posture, invest in advanced technology, and tighten international partnerships to balance China's growing influence. Ultimately, the parade was more than a celebration of history. It was a carefully choreographed signal of the shifting balance of global power and an unmistakable reminder that the international order is entering a new era. For much of the 20th century and the early decades of the 21st, the United States stood almost uncontested as the world's dominant force, projecting its influence through unmatched military capabilities, technological innovation, and a web of global alliances that reinforced its primacy. The very idea of a unipolar world was built on the assumption that Washington would remain at the center, shaping rules, institutions, and outcomes in its favor. Yet today, the center of gravity is moving in ways that cannot be ignored. With China's military might on full display, from its cutting-edge missile systems to its modernized navy and rapidly expanding cyber capabilities, Beijing is not only demonstrating that it can defend its borders but that it intends to shape events far beyond its region. Its global ambitions are openly declared through economic initiatives like the Belt and Road, political partnerships in Asia, Africa, and Latin America, and new institutions designed to challenge the dominance of Western-led organizations. Power is no longer concentrated in one capital. Instead, it is dispersing into new poles of influence where rising powers demand recognition and a share of authority. This transformation does not mean that the United States is suddenly weak or irrelevant. Its military, economy, and cultural reach remain formidable, but it does signal that the era of uncontested supremacy is ending. The rise of China, alongside the assertiveness of Russia and the growing influence of other actors from India to Brazil, marks the emergence of a multipolar world. In such a system, competition will be constant, but so too will be opportunities for cooperation, as no single power can dictate outcomes alone. The future will be defined by negotiations, rivalries, alliances, and the relentless pursuit of leadership on the global stage. In this sense, the parade in Beijing was not merely about remembering a victory of the past. It was a projection of confidence in the present and a declaration of intent for the future. It was both a reminder of how far China has come from a century of humiliation and a warning that the balance of power is now shifting toward a world where the United States must contend with new equals.